Hi, and welcome to Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, your go to platform for ambitious women who are ready to take the business world by storm. I'm your host, Angel France, and each week we'll dive into the latest strategies, stories, and success secrets from the most inspiring female entrepreneurs around the world. Whether you're just starting out or scaling up, this is your space to connect, learn, and grow alongside a community of trailblazing women who, just like you, they are making their mark in the world of business. From personal branding to powerhouse marketing, from leadership to lifestyle tips, we've got you covered. So get ready to ignite your passion, fuel your purpose, and unlock your potential with Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. Let's make this journey together and turn your entrepreneurial dreams into reality. Hey guys, welcome. This is Angel with Female Entrepreneurs Magazine, and I'm here with Amy Galliano. Guys, you are going to love talking with her. Well, I'm going to love talking to her because I know her personally, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So, Amy, go ahead and tell us about you and what you own and what you do. Go for it.
Well, thanks for having me to start off with. My name is Amy Galliano. I am the owner of AEG Insurance here in New Orleans, Louisiana. So we mostly specialize in selling to individuals and groups, small business owners. So we do a lot of health and life and disability insurance, a little bit of business funding as well for clients maybe that need an equipment loan or an SBA loan and are kind of looking for a way to sort of streamline that process and sort of simplify it. That was something that I went through in my own career really early, and it can be pretty cumbersome. So when I found the company that I'm working with, it was just sort of like a meeting of minds kind of thing. So I love what I do. I absolutely adore my clients. I thank God for them every day because they're wonderful and patient and really, really fun to work with, all really great people. And then, of course, I'm a mom. I'm a mom of two extremely busy children. So I tell people all the time if I didn't answer your call. That's what how it keeps me busy. So I love to garden, love to do Pilates and yoga type activities. But that's about it. That kind of keeps me busy. So
Wow. So how do you balance? We're going to chop through all this that you just said, but how do you balance being a mom with the two busy teenagers you have because they're very active as well?
yes, they
Running
are.
track, playing other sports. Tell us about how you balance all of that with your career.
So I think that focusing on balance is kind of like a mini form of torture to yourself because there is no such thing. There is no, I mean, you can try for it, and I think it's a really good endeavor to really try and focus on that. But I don't think that it is ever where everything is always in balance. You're going to have weeks where you're just kid stuff constantly, all the time, and you're lucky to get a few phone calls out. And then there's going to be times where they're just busy doing their thing, and other, everybody in the family's in a routine, and you're just firing on all the cylinders where business is concerned. So I mean, this is so I feel like the most unsexy person when I say these, but you have to go back to being organized. You have to have a really good calendar system that kind of keeps you on top of those things. So, establishing these routines and just getting them to flow within your life is really, really, really helpful. And I tell people all the time, just embrace the chaos. If your life is chaos, that probably means that you're just busy. And I mean, there are times that I literally go to the grocery store every day. literally every day, just because what I needed on Monday was not what I need on Thursday. So, you just pop into your little, neighborhood grocery store. So, I'm just not a proponent of making it look pretty. Just make it effective and make it productive, and don't judge yourself for it, and don't judge yourself against what other people are doing. But they're doing what works for them, but they're not living your life. So I don't know. I think it's a good thing to keep in mind, but I don't know that. Like, that's just,
That's my favorite answer. That is my
yeah,
favorite answer. And the reason
no.
reason I say it's my favorite answer is because it's so true. I know you've had your business for how many years now?
Oh goodness, since 2017, I believe. It's hard to keep track, but yeah, it's
So
been,
7
yeah,
years. So
yeah,
you had
yeah,
children that were 5, 6, 7 years old.
yeah,
So
yes.
when the phone rang, when they were that age, I know now it's different, but when they were that age, how did you get them to know it was mommy's busy time to work?
I joke all the time that my children probably could sell an insurance policy if they absolutely had to, because they just knew that after a while, I think they just knew if mom was on the phone and she was saying certain words, she's on a business call, and that means not to interrupt her. I mean, unless you're bleeding, and two, and I'm also a big proponent of allow kids to do what they are capable of. I mean, if a 5-year-old can reach the little water thing on the refrigerator, so they don't need you to get water. They may, water might get all over the place. And again, it might not be perfect, but let them do the things that they are capable of doing. They can go, like, put the cups low, but, only give them access to plastic, and let them get their own water. But very, very rarely did I ever just go, oh my God, I can't believe how I do this. I mean, I'm not really that type of person anyway. And I think you just sort of, every day you're doing it, and it just kind of becomes common. That's just the way mom is. And this is how we do things. And we know when we can ask and when we can't. And I mean, to this day, they're really good about it. They really are. They know, and I usually try and give them a heads up, especially over the summer when they tend to be home a little bit more often. She's on the phone, give her, 20 minutes, and she'll be able to, handle it. But and truly, I'm very blessed. I mean, my children don't really, they know when they need to be ready for practice and get their water bottles and all the things. I mean, they're pretty self-sufficient. So I think maybe that started when they were young, because I was balancing their needs with working. So yeah.
Yeah. So just it started early, so you were able to make concessions. Now, I was into, because most people don't know this, we raised my husband's grandson, and he was brought to us at a very young age. And I've always worked from home. And
Mhm.
so my biggest thing was bribe. I was not against the bribe. Now
That's a good, yeah, absolutely. It's effective. Right, right.
we can go to the park after I spend this much time doing this. You have to go do this, and I'll do this during this time, and we'll go to the park.
Absolutely. Well, and it's a fit issue as well. I mean, if I'm talking to a person and they just really need something because, the world's about to explode if they don't get it, would say to the person, can you please hold on? My daughter needs XYZ. She's home from school. It's, 4:30, what have you. Can you give me a few minutes? Very rarely did the person ever say, oh, I can't believe how inappropriate or unprofessional that is. That, I mean, a lot of people are just grateful to get you on the phone and to get your expertise and to get your guidance. And if they weren't and it was an issue, I mean, listen, lots of people sell insurance. So then maybe you need to go to one of these, big box, phone type insurance sales where there's always someone available and you can get your answers immediately. And, I mean, if that is what you need, then maybe I'm just not trained. Maybe this is just not necessarily going to work. So it's like dating. know, like you got to date a lot to figure out what's going to work for you and what isn't. So
That is so
that's
true.
the worst example, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So early in the beginning, now I know you do insurance, I know you do group, I know you do health, I know you do life. You mentioned you do one other thing that I personally did not know about. So
Okay. Oh,
you do financing as well?
so it's business funding. So when I opened this business, I was given not access, but it was encouraged that I look into an SBA loan. I mean, for a variety of different reasons, and we got it. And I'm going to tell you now, it was not the easiest process in the world, So basically, what it is I'm sort of the middleman. So I'm the one who's working with the small business owner, and they came to me mostly because they knew I was working with all these small business owners to get them to quicker financing. Because generally, what happens is that when you need financing, you don't need financing 3 months. You need financing right now because you have a restaurant and you want to expand, or you have some other manufacturing business, but you need this like brand new fancy piece of equipment that you just can't wait that long, or you're going to lose business if you do. So it's a really good fit between, here's my client, they have said that their needs are XYZ, and then you just sort of make that introduction, and then the company really just kind of takes it from there and explains to them what is needed from them, what they can expect from this process, and really tries to get them the most amount of money for their SBA loan or an equipment loan, or whatever the situation may be, in the shortest amount of time, because the timing issue is extremely important. And I mean, nothing against banks, but you go to a bank and it's not going to be that quick, because the bank doesn't specialize in just small business. The bank is doing lines of credit, and the bank's doing checking accounts and savings accounts and all these other things. So it's a good fit because as you know, clients will tell you lots of things that have nothing to do with how you're supposed to be working with them. They just say many things that don't generally always pertain to the reason that you originally were going to talk. So it was a nice fit in the sense that I like the fact that I can introduce them to people that can really kind of walk them through the process. In many ways, I sort of see it as what I do for people with insurance. I tell people all the time, none of this is ideal. None of this is not going to be ever perfect for you. But my job is to tell you, break it down, and show you what your options are, and then walk you through, that process. So it's a nice service to be able to offer to people, because having been through it, and how it's you're exhausted once it's over. I mean, you're glad that you were able to get to secure the funding, but you're pretty tired, It's like, oh wait, I got the funding, and oh, now I got to go do this business. Like, wow, okay, I am not by any means done with any of this. So it's a nice compliment to what I'm already doing with clients.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. So we're going to go a little bit more personal now because
Okay.
there's some things that I just love. Your favorite book.
My favorite book, this is really funny, but it is A Wrinkle in Time. So I'll tell you how I came to this book. It was one of my daughter's books that she read last year in sixth grade. Um, so, it, so I went to my mom's to help her clean up her Christmas decorations. And I thought my daughter and I were going to like pick up a few boxes and bring them in her attic.
Not your mom.
No, it was not a few boxes. So we do all the stuff, we pick it up, or, whatever. The next morning, and later that day, we drove to our fishing camp. And my fishing camp is like way high up in the air. And I woke up the next morning and I was like, I am not walking down those stairs. my legs literally felt like they could break off of my body. I was just no way. And my book was in the book I was reading at the time was in my car, which was going down the stairs. And I was like, I'm just not, and saying like to one of your kids, can you go in the car and it's XYZ, like getting them to find things is not exactly the easy, like finding my stuff is an issue. So her book was just sitting there and she wasn't reading it. She was reading something else because they have to read like a book for school that everybody's reading simultaneously and then their own, like their own reading preference. And it was just sitting there and she wasn't reading it. And I picked it up, Angel, and I couldn't put it down. It was phenomenal. It was just such a great, like positive, but not fluffy read. It was terrific. I was so glad that I couldn't walk down the stairs that because it was just phenomenal. But no, I loved it. I loved it.
So, what was the lesson in there? Was there a lesson?
Yes, I think for me, the lesson was being open-minded and like really kind of focusing on things that bring you joy versus, just kind of getting hooked up in the humdrum of logic and what makes sense and those sorts of things. I found it very eye-opening. So, and the book is not new. I mean, I think the book was written like maybe in the 60s. So it was, again, your children teach you many things. And, like I said, I would have never read the book had it not been sitting there. So, but by far, I would say that's been my favorite.
Wow. All right. Now, what about music? Get you motivated, pumped you up, get you positive. Song?
Anything by Pearl Jam. I am a kid of I graduated from high school in 1993. Anything but it is a mainstay in my little playlist. Yeah.
Anything from Pearl Jam.
Anything from Pearl Jam. Yeah, Pearl Jam, you can't go wrong.
Do
Yeah.
you have a favorite or like one that you really put in like, okay, this is gonna be one of those days I just need to pump it up?
Probably even flow. Like if I go to the gym, but I really don't want to be there and I just need to just pump myself up and just get going, I would say even for sure. Yeah. Or not Pearl Jam, Immigrant Song by Led Zeppelin.
I love it.
I know it's just random. I get it, but yeah.
No, mostly everybody is coming up with 2 songs. I love it.
Okay. Yeah, well, it is hard to choose of all the songs in the world, but those sort of stand out.
What about a favorite quote?
Oh goodness. Oh my Lord, there's so many. It's hard to choose. So you knew my dad. When my father passed away, I got a sympathy card from my husband's aunt. And you meet a person and it doesn't matter that they're generations older than you or younger than you for that matter. You just connect. And she was just this person for me. Aunt Janice. She's no longer with us anymore, but she sent me a sympathy card and it says, and I always get this wrong when I go to quote it, so Google it, but it says, grief is not a place to stay. It is a passage. It is, I can't remember the next part, but basically you sum it up with grief is the price of love. And it's unknown. No one, it can't be attributed to anybody. And I've tried to look and I've never been able to find who actually said that. But yeah, if you Google it, whenever I know that someone is dealing with a death or a loss, I always send that. Yeah, it's really beautiful. It really is.
So, looking at that quote, and so I always look at everything so it relates to personal. And how does it relate to business? It relates so much to business because business is such an ebb and flow
Yeah.
in our lives, and we're women, so sometimes we take things a little too personal.
Yes.
And so where there's an ebb and flow in our business, sometimes it becomes sort of a grief. That part needs to die and go away.
Yeah. Yes.
And that quote just like brings a resignation of, okay, it's love, right?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a big proponent of when again, don't even know who this has somebody who said it. I'm almost positive, but rejection is the Lord's protection. So it just is a way of God saying, "This is what you used to do, and maybe this is not serving you anymore. So maybe you need to move on to something else. Like I'm opening another door." Just grieve it if you need to. I mean, I get it, but that's okay. And we're moving on. I'm opening, another door. If you read the Bible, God is constantly changing people's names, and I think that that's part of that. Is that like that's your old life, and we're learning lots of things from that, and that's terrific. But this is your new role, and yeah, I think that it is. Sometimes you do have to sort of just grieve it because it's you're moving on. But yeah.
I love it. I love it. Amy, it was a blessing having you on today. Is there any question you wish I would have asked that I did not ask?
Oh goodness. You know what? In like an hour, I'm probably going to think of something. Nothing that happens, off the top of your head. I mean, what? So, are, is your audience people that are looking to be entrepreneurs, or I mean, are we trying to dispel
No, they're
advice
usually
or
all
guidance?
entrepreneurs.
Okay, okay. I mean, again, so unsexy, but just be organized, and figure out what organization is to you, because it is a very personal thing, and it's gonna look different from person to person to person. So don't feel like what your other what PNC people do isn't necessarily always a fit for me. So find your flow, find your, what works for you. But yeah, I mean, I would say if I had if you asked me what my advice would be, to figure out what you need to do to be organized and on top of your calendar, especially because we can always make more money. You can't ever get back, and you will find that time is your currency.
It is. Time is the currency.
Time is your
100%.
Yes, it
Yeah.
really is. So, and you're always fighting it. So,
I know I am.
oh, I am always in every aspect of my life. I am always fighting time. Always. It's just, you move on. It's just one of those things. But just get used to it. Don't be upset. So.
So,
We're all doing it. It's totally fine. Everybody. And even if they don't admit it, they're doing it too. It's all good.
oh, yeah, I mean, I have piles of stuff everywhere. We don't want to see, you don't want me to pull the camera down, guys. There's piles. I mean, it's just,
No.
I can work in it. I can
Yeah.
work in my organizational chaos. That's what I call mine.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, I used to be a really tidy person, and then I got married and had kids, and that went away really quickly. So, I mean, I'm proud of myself because I can function in the chaos. 25-year-old Amy would not have been able to do that at all. I mean, the disorder would have literally driven her crazy. But I don't know. You go with it. You just embrace the mess, and you keep going. So that your client doesn't care that you didn't you care that the dishes hadn't been done. The client doesn't. So
They
but
don't
yeah.
see them. They don't see them.
No, no. I mean, this is not why they're calling you. So just, everybody deals with it, as we can. So yeah, but no, I don't know. I love to talk about these things because you learn a lot as time goes on. So it's fun to kind of share horror stories sometimes and some successes. So.
So, my last question to you is how can they get in touch with you? We already know you're licensed in Louisiana. Are you licensed anywhere else for groups? Or
So I am licensed in Texas and Mississippi, but mostly for life and disability insurance. The just I don't like to talk about shop when it comes to these type of things, but the landscape for health insurance is very different from state to state. So again, didn't want to talk about shop, but if you are in the market for health insurance, I highly advise that you work with somebody, because that is really important. People call me all the time and say, oh, this person called me from Connecticut and told me this, that, and the other, and it's cringeworthy. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, no. Like, no, we can't, we don't need to be doing all that. That's really, really, really not a good thing. So, yeah, I mean, but for life and the disability, and certainly for the business funding, I can work in Texas and Mississippi. But the best way to reach me, go to my website, which is www.aeg, so Amy Elizabeth Galliano, AEG Insurance.net. And the first thing you'll see is there's a little button that says schedule a call. And I don't care what your question is. It could be something that you think is just sort of simple and basic, be a little bit more advanced. Just schedule the call. If you give me 10 minutes, I generally can find whatever information you need if I don't know it off the top of my head. But there are no stupid questions. I would rather you schedule a call and ask than not do anything and just walk around assuming something that is incorrect. So that is the best way, if you actually have a direct question. I also love it when people follow me on Instagram. So Instagram is AEG Insurance. I really have so much fun doing the Instagram stuff. So I hope, I'll hope that other people find it funny too. My friends say they see it and they think it's funny, but I try to have a good time with it. But it's I love Instagram. I do. I know, and I'm too old to love social media, like a social media platform, as much as I do, but it's just so much fun. It really is. So, but yeah, those are the best ways to reach me for sure.
So let me ask you, for funding, can other states call? Can you help other states, or it's just Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi?
I can put you in contact with somebody who can, but I don't know that I can.
Okay.
So like I certainly could connect you with them. Absolutely. That's no problem. But as far as, me being your middle person, they probably would want you to work with somebody. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
So again, guys, touch base with Amy. Ask her questions. She'll have fun. Obviously, you love her personality. It's amazing. So give us that website again, Amy, one more time.
It's www.aeg, so Amy Elizabeth Galliano with a G, insurance.net.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Good to see you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Female Entrepreneurs Magazine. I hope you found inspiration, actionable tips, and a sense of connection with our incredible community of driven women. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, leave a review, and share the episode with fellow entrepreneurs who are ready to elevate their game. Remember, your success is just the beginning, and we're here to support you in every step of the way. Until next time, keep shining, keep thriving, and remember, you have the power to create the business and life of your dreams. Stay inspired, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.